How can Meghan Markle not consider herself an absolute embarrassment after attending the G9 Ventures Summer Summit in the Hamptons with some of the movers and shakers, you could say, in Hollywood and then in other places? Women who, in by and large, as far as I'm aware, have been very, very successful. Meghan Markle, not so much. Her entire claim to fame at this point is having married Prince Harry. Of course, she is looking to launch American Riviera Orchard sometime in the future in a galaxy far, far away, but she has yet to do that. And so when she is attending this and she's there with Reese Witherspoon and Gwyneth Paltrow, two women of Hollywood who have been enormously successful on the business. And Reese Witherspoon, I believe it was, sold her production company for millions, if not billions of dollars because they have created really good businesses. They also have Reese Witherspoon's case at Draper Jane's, the clothing company. Gwyneth Paltrow obviously has Goop, which has been a phenomenon. And Meghan Markle has an Instagram account and an email list nobody can get off of that she's essentially holding hostage. And then, as well, she has a little 15-second video of her doing nondescript things in her home. That is grand total right now of Meghan Markle's achievements. Bravo, right? Bravo. And so when Meghan Markle goes to an event like this, I can't help but think of how embarrassed can she possibly be? How shameless is she to turn up there as if she has been this huge success when really she has been an absolute failure and flop at this point, as far as we can tell, which is partly why I got these earrings. ARO is a lemon because it has officially nothing. And I think there's an interesting thing to look at with this whole situation because, yes, Meghan went to this particular event. She even got to do her PDA, this time with a woman, because, you know, she can't help but not touch people. She must touch people at all times to just extend her warmth. She must touch you. But as well, the things she was not invited to, there was a Goop event. There is actually an event with Crown Princess Marie Chantal of Greece, who owns and runs a very, very successful children's clothing line, an upscale one that has a great and phenomenal audience. Meghan Markle has none of these things. And as far as we're aware and as far as we can tell, she ain't going to get any of this together. And so to watch her go there, it's like, I hope she took some really good notes and wasn't just there to hold her friends' hands because Meghan Markle is going to need all the help she can get because in addition to obviously not getting invitations to a couple other events, I think the elite of Hollywood as well are definitely trying to keep their distance from her because you definitely don't want the failure that is Meghan Markle dragging down your own very, very successful brand. So we are going to explore this today. But if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, my name is Brittany, and I provide y'all compelling royal commentary, usually without the gruffness of the voice. But I'm recovering from illness. So this is the best we got. So I would love to have you back, guys. We are going to do something hopefully really, really soon on royals in the Olympics because we have had so many royals at the Olympics. It's been fantastic. I've heard that William and Catherine and their family are currently on vacation, but we have royals from Spain, the Netherlands, Denmark. We even have Princess Anne, of course, giving out a couple of Olympic medals. And I got to say, the young ladies from Spain are really showing people how it's done. They are going to like 12 events a day. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but they're going to many, many. This is Princess Leonor and Infanta Sofia. So I want to say bravo to those young ladies. And if you love talking about all things royals and you want to see royals from like all over Europe and not just from the UK, I do have an upcoming trip to the Christmas markets in Germany and the Czech Republic, and that trip has been officially confirmed. So we are going, and I cannot wait. We're going to Berlin, Dresden, and Prague, which are all beautiful cities and all in their own unique ways. And we'll be going to the Christmas markets in addition to checking out any palace and museum we possibly can. I have a thorough idea of the things I want to do, like going to the Green Vault, going to the Berlin Museum, like so many different things. So if you are interested in that and becoming friends with people on these trips, because so many times people become friends because obviously, well, we have this all one thing we have in common. We all enjoy real things. And so we have a couple of threads and text chains from each trip that are on and going. And people are able to make these great connections. So if you guys are interested in that, and super exciting this trip because I have somebody who has gone to, I've done 3 of these trips. I have one person who has been on one of the 3 trips on this trip, which I'm so excited about. A couple are returnees for the second and third time. So, guys, we have an amazing, amazing time on these trips. So, if you're interested, free to check out the link up above. All right, guys, and just to begin, we have to look at this photo, which officially confirmed because the New York Post did go with this article sharing that Meghan had been there. Of course, everybody's like, well, with no picture, there's no evidence. And then, of course, a picture with evidence pops up. And this is from Bobbi Brown, the makeup artist. And it appears that Meghan is there with Misha. No. And there's a couple things I want to pick up on. Number one, Meghan Markle looks atrocious in this. She lives up to her title, the Duchess of Beige. She is beige on multiple levels, not only her fashion, but really her personality, her work ethic, her achievements. They're all very beige. And so this ensemble is horrid. I did go into it a little bit on my fashion channel, Royal Fashion News, if you are interested. I did have some audio glitches in that one, so I do apologize for that. But you can find a little bit more on my thoughts there. Of course, it doesn't really fit her. She doesn't have enough bust line to fill it out. And Misha also, I think, kind of looks terrible. I can't tell if that's really a skirt or just like a little runner that she took from the table and wrapped it around her waist. It is so tiny. I think she looks terrible. Meghan looks terrible. Bobbi Brown looks okay. But like, these are women are supposed to be like you could try to feel like they want to feel like they're the epitome of the style that we should emulate. And I'm like, oh gosh, no. I actually did. So I went in the back of my closet because the vests have been a thing for a little bit, and I do have a couple. And so I did throw this one on today. I had to put an undershirt on underneath because I have the bust line to fill out Meghan's dress that she does not. But I just got to say, I looked at this little outfit online. It is terrible online as well. It's terrible on the website. And as my dad aptly said, is anybody missing the dining room tablecloth? Because literally the fabric of her outfit looks like it was taken from that tablecloth right there. So very interesting. But other thing here to point out is that Meghan does not appear to be wearing a name tag. Bobbi Brown, who is obviously very well known in the, you could say, makeup community, required to wear a name tag. Misha, no, required to wear a name tag. Meghan Markle, oh, she's too special. She's royal. She does not wear a name tag here. And we see other notable people wearing name tags that everybody should know exactly who that person is. And they're not too good to wear name tags. So let me pull this up here real quick. Now, while I will say these are not the exact same note cards, I was trying to look and I sworn I had seen Reese Witherspoon wearing one, but maybe I was just thinking of this. But you literally see this is Reese Witherspoon, Gwyneth Paltrow right here. This is at Hello Sunshine, which is Reese Witherspoon's production company. And she's literally wearing a name tag, and you can tell it says Reese Witherspoon, Gwyneth Paltrow. And a lot of the women had these. And so I don't know, maybe if Meghan, this was a 2-day event. I think it was just a 1-day event. But either way, Meghan's not wearing a name tag, which I find just like so up on herself potentially. If she's like, oh no, I'm too good to wear a name tag. Because, everybody knows who I am because I'm the Duchess of Sussex. And I just find that really, really tacky. And I can't help but think probably most of the women there who have a little bit of self-respect also think that's pretty tacky. Because if Reese Witherspoon and Gwyneth Paltrow had to wear name tags, who are enormously successful A-list actresses, who have both won Academy Awards, by the way, then Meghan Markle can also bear to wear a name tag. So if you are wondering about this particular event, we do have a bit of details here from the New York Post. This was the outlet that initially broke the story because, again, there's so much misinformation about Harry and Meghan. It's really hard to say, yes, something happened, X happened, or whatever, if you don't really have any pictures. And we did get some. So this is from the New York Post, and I don't think they had pictures initially, but then they came in later. It says, so Meghan Markle jets into NY for high-powered Hampton's business summit before launching new brand. Okay, number one, she has launched the brand. She launched it with nothing, though. Remember, she launched the brand already. That's a stupid thing that I've been talking about again and again and again when it comes to American Riviera Orchard. It is a horrific business strategy to launch a brand with zero product, zero timeline for a product, zero idea of what a product could be, because the things that she tried to tease were all things we knew she couldn't sell. So she hasn't launched the brand. She literally has nothing. She has nothing but a name, a vague video, a hostage email list, because you can't get off it because they haven't sent any emails, so you can't remove yourself from the email list. and an Instagram page. That's all she has. So it says Meghan Markle joined a how-powered women at a summit in the Hamptons Friday, sources tell page 6. She attended the G9 Ventures Summer Summit hosted by power broker Amy Griffin. We're told she flew in from Santa Barbara, California by private jet with entrepreneur Jamie Kern Lima. And sources tell us she will be picking up tips for her new lifestyle business, American Riviera Orchard, which has yet to officially launch. It has launched dismally, terribly, horrifically, so badly that she should be embarrassed to even show her face at this event. That's how bad her whole entire business strategy is so far. It's a horrifically bad embarrassment. It is so embarrassing that a woman with her resources is so inept when it comes to business. She is completely and utterly bereft of common sense and any sort of business acumen. Completely. So, and then we have a picture. This is Reese, and she's holding there her little name tag. This is Amy Griffin, I believe, in the middle, and I'm not sure who the other person is. Sarah Blakely. And so at a previous summit. So maybe they're getting their pictures confused because I did see a picture of Reese and she was wearing a different outfit. So I wonder if this was from last year and the picture of Gwyneth was from last year. So people are starting to get a bit confused. So I do apologize for that. So it says the lineup of guests include BFF Misha Nono and Meguru Victoria Jackson, all women who have been enormously more successful than named Meghan Markle simply because they actually created products at this point. The annual event is held at the sprawling home Griffin shares with her husband, billionaire hedge fund John Griffin, a huge estate valued at over $13 million. I don't know why we need to know that. Lineup of guests, we already know. Missy Robbins, the chef behind Williamsburg Hotspots, Lila and Missy and Bobby Brown, Weight Watchers CEO, investor Kirsten Green, Lady Goop herself, Gwyneth Paltrow, was believed to be there along with A-lister Reese Witherspoon. But if that other picture was from the event last year, then we have no evidence because this is the same dress from Reese. So if Reese is wearing her dress there and her dress there, and that was from last year, then this picture is also from last year because I did see a different picture of Reese and she was wearing a completely different dress. So this tells me again that they're trying to create something that's not really there. And I don't like how they don't specify that on the picture because it is misleading. So yes, I have confirmed that this is a picture from last year. So obviously I just wanted to double check that because this New York Post article is misleading that it doesn't say that this is from 2023, which it should. But anyways, the point is still taken. Reese Witherspoon is wearing a name tag, and so is Mariska Hargitay, who is right there as well. And so it says that Meg will no doubt be networking and soaking up all the tips she can in preparation for a new venture at the summit. And so it recently said that she finished filming her lifestyle show in Montecito, but doesn't have a launch date. As page 6 previously revealed, the mom of two wants to follow in the footsteps of Martha Stewart by offering followers a mix of food and lifestyle advice. And so she's going to lean on Amy Griffin. Amy is more than an investor. She becomes your friend and champion, Spanx CEO Blakely said. For founders, that can be even more important than the money. But the thing is, good investors, proper investors. Now, if you've watched Shark Tank, which I've encouraged anybody who's looking to build a business, I'd encourage you to watch Shark Tank. You get a lot of good tips from there. What you'll notice about all of this is that you can't really invest in something that doesn't exist. So if Meghan Markle, as a random Joe or random Jane in this instance, went on Shark Tank with literally an idea that has been done to death already, nothing unique or individual other than the fact that she has a royal title, they'd probably kind of look at her and go, no, you need a business plan. Because as far as we're aware, there is no business plan. Now, of course, there could be 100% be a business plan. But this official Instagram account launched in March. So it's been April, May, June, July. It is 4 months. We're almost going on 5 months. It's almost been half a year since she just launched the brand name Zero products. Then she had a month of random poppings up of people she probably begged and pleaded to put up jam on their Instagram pages, jam that she cannot sell because she told us she only had 50 of them. And then later it was raspberry jam that she only had 2 of. I'm not sure where the business is coming into play here because the business doesn't exist. So even if she goes to this stinking summit, who cares? There's not a business you can invest in at this point. There's no business. There's literally no business until she has a product, has a launch strategy. And maybe she shared it with some of these people. But like everything, Meghan is all flash and no substance. So I can 100% imagine her going there with just going, well, I'm going to launch American Riviera Orchard. Her brand is not a sponsor of this event because, again, she has no brand, she has no product, she has nothing to sell. And so I can imagine her, though, considering that. But why, as an investor, would you even consider Meghan Markle when she has nothing to offer you? She has nothing but a name. Now, a name can sell things, of course. People have fought and paid for names, but the name of a particular brand needs to be built. And you build that over time by developing a relationship with your audience, developing a relationship with your customers, and all those sorts of things, which Meghan hasn't really done. She's literally had 4 months. 4+ months, we're going on 5 months now of having an email list that is hostage. So I sent an email to that list because I like to keep up with things as a journalist, but I can't get off the list. She's literally holding my information hostage because she has failed to give me an email allowing me to opt out, whether it's a welcome email, what have you. She has failed to give a single email. And I've talked about this in a previous video, how they're going to have to pay a lot to send emails because they have this whole email list that might be half jokes. They don't know. They've had nothing to test. They don't have anything to test. Like, just the business part of this drives me bonkers. But apparently, Meghan wasn't only there just to, try to beg and plead people to invest in American Riviera Orchard because she doesn't know what she's doing. But she was there to support a friend, and a friend who needed the patented Meghan Markle touch, literally. So this is a friend, Jamie Kern Lima. I don't know exactly what she does. She has a podcast or something. And of course, Meghan touching, because Meghan cannot not touch people. This would drive me bonkers if I met her. I would go, stop touching me. I don't care who you are. Stop touching me. I don't find it funny, or I don't find it endearing, or whatever you think it is. And Jamie goes, love this pic because it captures the essence of friendship. No, it doesn't. It captures the essence of a woman who cannot stop touching people. And does that look like could be a little bit dangerous right there? Because that little outfit she has on kind of comes really tight in here. This one doesn't, because it's like an actual vest and not backless like Meghan says, because she apparently must be backless at all times. Thank you, Meg, for being such a supportive and loving friend. And this pic for holding my arm with such love or obsession as I was about to walk up on stage and speak. And in real life, for how generous you show up for your friends, but not her employees or anything, or her family, her friends, the people she needs. She probably wants this woman to go on her show. She probably wants her to go on her podcast. She probably wants something. That's what all Hollywood friendships are. The vast majority of the time is, I want X, so I will be nice to X person because I want X. That's it. That's it. Nothing deeper than that. So this whole fake deepness, oh, the greatness of Meghan Markle. I don't buy any of it, to be honest. I think that's Misha No right there. She's also showing quite a bit of skin there. You got to be careful on some things sometimes. And what I found really interesting is, obviously, I don't really know who this Jamie Kern Lima woman is. I think she has a big podcast or something. But what I found interesting is that there were some notable faces there, but none of them wanted to be photographed with Meghan Markle. We only got in addition to those two pictures, we got one more. So we got here Meghan, and then Jamie is the woman in pink. And so Amy Griffins, I think, is this woman in the green skirt. And so they're there together. Meghan Markle is trying to be all fancy schmancy and trying to wow them with her wealth, with her Cartier necklace, of course, because it costs, like $12,000 or something like that. But, Amy's husband is a billionaire, so she could be wearing, triple that amount. But you wouldn't know because it's something called quiet luxury, which Meghan doesn't seem to ascribe to, which is the notion of quiet luxury, which you'll notice many or most royal and aristocratic people do the quiet luxury thing. Yes, I do. But again, I want to point out that when it comes to this event, we had a couple of, you could say, peripheral people wanting to get a picture with Meghan Markle, but not Reese Witherspoon. And if Gwyneth Paltrow was there, not Gwyneth Paltrow. And in fact, Gwyneth Paltrow didn't even invite Meghan Markle to her event. So this seems less like Gwyneth Paltrow probably spent a lot of time at the G9 Ventures event if she did at all, because she had her own Goop event, and guess who's there? Why, that is a friend of Harry and Meghan's, Delphina, I believe her name is. She is Nacho's wife. You know, the guy who posted the dog biscuits and jam on the day of Trooping the Color because, he didn't know. He had no idea those were the same day, guys. Anyways, his wife was there at Gwyneth's event. But who wasn't there? Why, it doesn't appear like Meghan Markle was at this event. This was quite an intimate event. Cameron Diaz was also there. And so you have them doing this sort of elaborate dinner. Well, not elaborate. It seemed quite cozy in this little pop-up they have, and it's inspired by the iconic French approach to beauty. So stop by. This is somewhere in New York in the Hamptons. You can go and check this out. And obviously, Cameron Diaz's wine was being sold there. So Cameron Diaz has a wine label. Meghan Markle, apparently that's going to be her first product is wine. But of course, does she get an invite to show off her wine, which, at this point is imaginary, at Gwyneth Paltrow's event? No, no. And the next day, or at least very close together, we have another event in the Hamptons area. And this one's notable because there's actually another royal there. Another, I would say, in some ways more notable royal, at least in the set. And that is Crown Princess Marie Chantal of Greece. So she is right here, and she owns a children's clothing line, an upscale children's clothing line called Marie Chantal, which is very popular among a certain segment of the population. She has a loyal fan base. And then you also have here Tory Burch. And so apparently Marie Chantal and Mrs. Alice here, who I don't know, I guess that is her brand name. Anyways, they collaborated on a line, it looks like, of dishware. So this is from Marie Chantal's Instagram. She's reposting Rachel Zoe. And so this is the plate setting. So we have Rachel, we have these nice plates, and then RZ for Rachel Zoe. And so this is obviously a launch that's coming in August of this particular line. And guess who else is there? Nacho and Delphina. Yes, oh yes. Meghan Markle did not get an invite to this event either, it seems. And so they were, again, Marie Chantal, Mrs. Alice. So this, again, is at the launch of this brand. And so this, I think, can tell us a lot of different things. Of course, number one, that Meghan Markle should be horrifically embarrassed by the ineptitude of her own business launch, which is inept. It's inept. So far, it's a failure because it hasn't done anything. Like, even if, let's say, it's a smashing success, it started off with failure. And the longer that goes on, the worse that becomes. It's kind of like once you lose your job or once you don't have a job for whatever reason. So, like, I graduated college, I had broken my foot, so it took me a while to get back on my feet. I had like a part-time job, then I did an internship, and I came back, and like the economy had crashed and I couldn't find a job. And so as time goes on, and it got close to like 6 months, sort of the more unmotivated you became over time in many ways. And so I ended up just taking a retail job, which I should have done in the first place because it gives you something to do. It gets you motivated to do something else at some point because you're like, this retail job sucks. And it just something that keeps you going and the money flowing. I was pretty young at the time, so I kind of got away with not working too much. But it's just one of those simple things that's like, I wish I would have taken the retail job from the jump because who cares? As long as I was working and making money and doing something, then it makes applying for jobs, other jobs later down the line, a little bit easier because I have a track record going rather than doing nothing. Meghan Markle, as far as we're aware, has done nothing. Now, granted, there could be a lot of work going on behind the scenes, but she never, ever, 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 ever should have launched this brand without having product, without having a plan, without even giving us an idea of what this brand is. But she didn't. So I feel like people stay away in part because of that. Because not only should she be embarrassed by the ineptitude of this, I think people are almost embarrassed for her and want to keep away the toxicity and the obvious failure that is Harry and Meghan's ventures in Hollywood. Reese Witherspoon did not take a moment to get a picture with Meghan Markle and post it on her Instagram. She didn't really post anything from G&I in this time. And you compare that to this. When Catherine, the Princess of Wales, then the Duchess of Cambridge, came to Los Angeles in 2011, she had a very, very attentive audience, including Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon, you could almost feel like the glow. It's like, oh, I'm in the presence of royalty. And so Catherine got a level of respect and interest just because she's so unique. And everybody had watched the wedding and it was this huge deal. She's wearing Diana's ring, like so many different things. And she's something detached from Hollywood. This is something entirely different. Reese Witherspoon is on the A of the A list. She has nothing to prove in many ways. She's been an enormous success. And Reese Witherspoon sold Hello Sunshine, which was her company, for $900 million to media company backed by Blackstone Group. So Witherspoon and Sarah Hardin, who are the CEOs, joined the board of the new company and will continue to oversee the day-to-day operations, but they sold the company for $900 million. Reese Witherspoon has zero to prove. Meghan Markle has everything to prove to Reese Witherspoon. And Reese Witherspoon has gone through Hollywood. She has struggled, but she has become an enormous success, in part, I think, because she's like one of those type A people. This has been broadly reported. She's very driven. And you have Meghan Markle, who's just sitting there doing nothing, going to this venture summit, having somebody leak that she went to learn some tips. She learned tips, guys. But Reese Witherspoon is sitting there going, I sold my company for $900 million and you can't even launch a single stinking product. Like, I would stay as far away from Meghan Markle as I could, almost to avoid just the failure rubbing off on me, because Meghan Markle just can't seem to get something cohesive together. She is all flash. Look, I flew in on a private jet. Look at me. I'm wearing the Saint Agnes. Agnes? I can't remember. I want to say Agnes all the time, but I think it's Agnes. Wearing the Saint Agnes suit, even though it looks horrid, and I'm dripping in my Cartier, my Lorraine Schwartz, and you should look at me and you should be impressed. And I would love somebody to go up to her and go, well, wait until you sell the company for $100 million. Then you can be all up on yourself. Meghan Markle, I think, is sort of kryptonite at this point in Hollywood. People want to stay away from her. They don't really want to associate with her. The people who do are the people who knew her before, or are hoping her platform can give them a bigger platform. Reese Witherspoon doesn't need a bigger platform. She has one already. It's herself and her own career. She doesn't really need to do anything. She also has Draper James. Let's see how Draper James is doing, because clothing companies are really, really hard because there's so much competition. It's still going. They're selling some gorgeous dresses. And Reese Witherspoon, oh, this is so cute. She's like, totally the face of this. So there's little pop-up, and then so cute. So cute. And they sell a lot of dresses and stuff. I haven't ordered any dresses from them yet, but I've thought about it before. And so they got some cute things. And Reese Witherspoon obviously wears her own products oftentimes. And it looks like they have matching ones for kids too and everything. So there's obviously, nothing super exciting about any of this. I would say it's very classic and elegant, maybe has a hint of the South because that's where Reese is from. And so I think all of this works pretty well together. Actually, is that all we have? Oh, I'm not liking a ton of these, to be honest. But anyways, Reese Witherspoon has two companies that have been wildly successful, and that requires a lot of hard work. Meghan Markle literally spends her time twiddling her thumbs, going to meetings in Hollywood and thinking she's a great success. And I see why people don't really want to associate with her. Yes, Misha Nono, they've been friends before. Misha and is kind of a social climber like Meghan. She has, I think her family has money. She married money and all these sorts of things. And she has a brand, which I'm not really familiar with, so I can't really say. But she's one of those people who's hoping Meghan can lift her up. I would imagine Jamie is the same way. And so you get the sense that almost that she invited herself to this event because she has nothing to offer, really, except for, PDA to other women. And so she has nothing to do because she has no success to speak of. She lost her deal with Spotify, which is a huge failure that is not talked about enough, I feel like. To lose $20 million potentially from Spotify, because I imagine they only got at most $5 million out of that deal. They lost $15 plus million, is unbelievable given the platform that they have. Netflix is probably really close to, if 2025 is the last year of their deal, cutting them off because they're like, we can't do this no more. This is failing. Like, what are we supposed to do? That's not a surprise at all. Harry and Meghan have been huge failures. And so when I see Meghan going to this event, it's just notable how many women I think probably really do keep their distance from her. Because even if, yes, they'll chat with her behind the scenes and stuff like that, they don't want to be seen publicly associating with her. Not just because sometimes there's the toxicity that comes with it. I know there's the tensions between the Sussex squad, who I'm almost starting to call like the Sussex Mafia, and then obviously as well, the royal side, there are clashes that people are like, oh, I won't watch anything because they associate with X person. I am not into doing those sorts of things. But what I will notice is that people don't want to associate with somebody who might drag down their brand. And right now, Harry and Meghan are brand poison. They don't really help the brand. They don't really help the brand sell. Like say Agni, maybe they sold out of those hideous vests. The only reason I sort of considered buying it, which sometimes I kind of debate, was to actually try to see if you could style that thing well. But you know what? I have other vests that I discovered back in my closet that are much better than that. And I don't really want to waste my money on something I know even looks hideous on the model. So why would I buy it and even try to make it work? I don't know. Anyways, but Harry and Meghan have a huge problem here, which is I think if Hollywood is to a certain extent avoiding them, because again, we've shown that yes, Meghan went to this event, but she didn't really have a purpose in going. She wasn't invited to two other events in the same area at about the same time, including one that was hosted by a royal. And I think that is because people are just cautious of Harry and Meghan. And there's nothing worse than caution. And Harry and Meghan need to prove themselves. She, I think, goes around constantly just going, I'm the Duchess of Sussex, pay attention to me. And other people are like, well, that's great. But I also have a hugely successful business, and I don't need to tell everybody my name every 5 seconds to make them pay attention to me. Harry and Meghan are coming to their make it or break it moment. They have to have a success, I would say, within the next year that does not rely on any sort of royal connection, that they can maintain, and that is going to be a huge hit. If they don't have that, I think pretty much everything they have is going to go away. What I mean by that is Netflix is going to leave. Lemonada. I mean, I'm wearing my obviously little lemon things. Like, how can they not be utterly furious and frustrated with Meghan Markle that she can't do two things at the same time? Like the ineptitude of that. Like Reese Witherspoon runs her production company, a clothing brand. She acts, she produces, does all these sorts of things, and Meghan Markle can't do a podcast and a lifestyle show for Netflix that's probably only 8 episodes, maybe 10 at the most, at the same time. That's really pathetic. That's really pathetic. And Hollywood knows this. And they placate Harry and Meghan because they're like, well, if they are successful, then it behooves us to be kind of sort of nice to them. But they're also saying, we're going to approach you, though, with severe caution until proven otherwise. Because you had your chance and you blew it, and we all know it. Anybody who is in the know in the business industry there in Hollywood, I cannot fathom how they don't see the disaster that is Harry and Meghan and go, how dumb are they? How dumb are they to lose out on what it could have been hundreds of millions of dollars by being as inept as the two of them are? Hollywood knows this. They're not stupid. But yes, they're like, well, they could come back. Let's give them leeway. They are doing that. But they're also saying, we'll invite you to X, Y, and Z such and such time. But there are some people there who definitely don't want a picture with you because they don't really want to associate with you. And even interestingly enough, it's kind of funny. If you look at the large Instagram picture, it's kind of a terrible shot of Meghan and the group in some ways because it's not centered correctly or anything. And it obviously gets the tablecloth in the background that matches Meghan's outfit. It's almost as if the person taking the picture going, can you see that? Can you believe that she like her outfit matches the tablecloth? Like we could just ask her to help. That's something that Meghan should consider. She needs to up her game here. Her game here has been as beige as her wardrobe. So she needs to up her game or they really will start shunning her at some point. Because Marie Chantal, Yes, she may have millions, if not billions, in the bank because her father was a billionaire. And so she's brought a lot of money into the Greek royal family, but she has created a clothing line that people like. It's not a one off thing, it's not a one and done thing. She has created a brand that has legs. Meghan needs to do that. She hasn't done that yet. And until she does that, I don't think anybody in Hollywood is going to take her all that seriously. So, guys, let me know what you think of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you oh so soon. Bye.